situation. We go through the slides. So I've kind of like touched on already the fact that Arbonne is like a 40-year-old company. And I know like maybe a lot of you up until this point, or until I'd mentioned it to you, you hadn't ever heard of it, but that's basically just because we don't do mass advertising. Like our brand awareness is 2%. Like, and that sounds like strange, but that's actually a really good thing for us, because that's such a massive untapped market of people who haven't heard of this, who we can offer this opportunity to, which is incredible. We're actually in the US, which is where the company started. We are in the UK, New Zealand, Australia, and Poland. So in terms of like what that means for you, if you were to think about this from a business opportunity, like that's a whole other network of countries and people that you can expand your business into. Like we are set to globalize, so like the potential for that is just crazy. Like you could have a global business from your phone. Like that is in as simple terms as that. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Yeah. So I think this is something that probably myself, Ruth, and any other team members have really felt right now, but the sense of community that this company brings is just incredible. Like it's built us up to the point where we've had so much personal development and so much growth like drilled into us, like through all the training, like all the books we've recommended to read. Like it's given us the tools to actually be able to, even in circumstances like this, maintain a really positive mindset. Like, and that is something that a lot of people I know just now are really struggling with, like understandably so. It's so hard to think positive when like there is so much stuff going on around that is so negative, and so like it is scary. It's very scary times, but it makes me so grateful to have a community and a business that has built me to the point where I'm actually a strong enough person to be able to cope with that and deal with it. Next slide. So all the things that you see here, these are essentially like all of the kind of foundations for like our product and the business. So since 40 years ago, like we have been all of these things: vegan, cruelty-free, gluten-free, plant-based. Like these are things that we haven't just jumped on because they're cool now or because they're trendy. Like this has been something that from the day that it was founded, like Peter Mork, who was the founder 40 years ago, was like so like ahead of his time in the way that he thought about everything. And like we're ahead of the game with this. Like all of our products are so amazing and they're toxin free. Like even if say I wasn't even doing this business, like these products are something that I believe in so strongly. And if I could get anybody even just to switch out their protein brand or their makeup brand or their like skincare to like something that is toxin free, actually good for the environment, good for your skin, like the products and the ingredients and all of the stuff that we use is something that is good for the environment, not just now, but is sustainable even 50 years down the line. Like this isn't something that they've just decided. Like we ban 2,000 ingredients from all of our products because we can't guarantee that 50 years down the line they're going to be sustainable or good for the environment. Next slide. So this is something that probably ties in really well with the 30 days, excuse me guys, the 30 days to healthy living plan, because with Arbonne, and it's something that is really part of like their core values, so like the mind, body, skin connection. So having the really good nutrition, like the amazing community of people, the toxin-free, like sulfate-free, vegan, cruelty-free skin products, like everything works like synergistically together. Like everything, it's like one can't work without the other. You know, like what you've put into your body, what you fuel your body with, that affects your mind. Like what you put on your skin, that gets absorbed into your body. That, you know, you need to make sure that whatever you're doing, it is the best of the best, and Arbonne is the best of the best. Like, and I genuinely like, I have tried so many products. Like, you people on here know that I am such a product person, and Arbonne is definitely, like, I will never use another brand. Like, it is the best of the best. Next slide. So all of the things that you can see here, they're essentially like all the product ranges that we do. So there's like 500 different products, and all of them, so the things like protein, makeup, mascara, like your soap, shampoo, like all of these things, these are all consumable products. So that means that they run out. So it's really, really smart to have a business that like stocks and produces consumable products, because that means that you're going to get repeat purchases. And again, like even if we just look at like the nutrition market, like health and wellness is an industry that is booming. That is not going to get any smaller. Like that is going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And like to have a business that is so strongly focused on like amazing nutrition and skincare and all the rest of it, it's such a smart business to be a part of. Thank you. So I'm going to pass over to Ruth now, who's kind of going to go through like a bit of the logistics and how it all actually works and how you can talk to people and actually make money from this whole thing.
Thank you. Just you can hear me, right? It's like it's not muted. Yeah, cool. Thank you for passing over to me there. I love coming onto these calls and like supporting people that are in my team and that are in their teams, because see when you look back and see like how far you've come in terms, like, because a few months back Laura and I were sitting and she was asking me bits and pieces about it, and it's amazing to think like never at one point do we sit down and like actively try and like learn all this stuff. You just start to retain it with the fact that you're using the products, you're hearing about it on trainings, you're surrounded by people who are all talking about it. And I love, one of my favourite parts is watching team members starting to like grow into their own leader, like their own person, and know all this stuff. I'm like, yes, like this is exactly what this is about. Like I remember 5 months down the line, I still took Amy along with me, the girl that introduced me to everything. I was like, don't ever make me explain this to someone, I will never remember it. So I literally dragged her to everything, and watching obviously like Katie, watching Laura progress through this now, exactly what you were saying, like it is about other people. You start to want it more for other people, because you're like, this is how it all works, this is how we all build. But anyway, so for anybody I haven't met, my name's Ruth. Like Laura said, I've been running an Arbonne business now for about 6.5 years. It's something that from the start I was like, why are you speaking to me about this? I know nothing about skincare, nothing about nutrition. But the loveliest thing is that it's all learnable. None of this stuff you have to be particularly passionate about. You can learn to become passionate about it. Laura did have an interest in this kind of thing beforehand. I did not. I was very uninterested, actually, quite ignorant probably to quite a lot of it. So if you can relate to her story, great. If you can relate to mine, it shows that both types of people can do it. But my job on here just now is just to kind of explain a little bit more about the intricate details as to how this works and how this operates as a business opportunity for anybody who's interested. I'm actually recording this, Laura, so you can send this on to anybody if you want it afterwards. But also as well, it's a good tool to be able to watch back and like to help us learn as well, and to help us share this information more like I suppose sleeker, and to help us in our growth as well, which is that. So logistics wise, if someone says, I'm not interested in this business, I just want to buy a mascara, I just want to try the protein, you basically direct them to the Arbonne website, arbonne.com. They go on, have a look through the website, a couple of things go into their basket, and they're like, yeah, that's all I'm after. When they go to shop that, so when they go to actually put their details in, it will say to them, hold on a second, who referred you to this company? And you need to put in somebody's name, because someone will always need to be paid for the referral point of view. Like Arbonne don't just take all the money back into the company. They don't just say, well, do you know what? Like, you're not telling us who recommended you, so we'll just absorb 100% of what you're giving us there. It doesn't work like that. The money is split between research and development and back into the team of people who are distributing like the referrals effectively, who are telling people about it. There's no money going into advertising. There's no money going into retail. We don't pump up our products price to be sold through the retail process or anything like that. It's a very clean, very efficient way of keeping products at a very high quality and affordable to the masses as well. So if someone's sitting there in the basket, they've got a couple of things in, they're like, yep, okay, it's Laura that's recommended me. They've put in her name, a little picture of Laura pops up, and they go, yep, definitely her. That product then gets shipped directly to that person that's ordered. Laura's not there running around her neighbours delivering products or collecting money and making sure she's got enough stock. We don't hold stock. It's a very, very sleek, very 21st century way of making money. You literally just refer people the business, refer people the products. They can go on online and shop as and when they wish. And say, for example, you never see that person again and they move to Australia and they don't want anything else to do with the business or anything like that, they can just go on and shop that mascara. If they want to just shop the mascara for the next 5 years, every few months when it runs out, they shop that mascara on their own little login details. Money goes to Laura, product goes to them. It's very, very sleek. The way that it works, if somebody wants to hear a bit more about the business, so for example, Laura's obviously invited you on this call tonight, either because she believes that you would be fantastic at it and she wants to work alongside you, or because she's asking, I suppose, of her friends to support her and have a think about who they might know that might be interested, because guaranteeing you right now there are people in your network who need this. And I'm not saying that on like a cheesy level, but I'm talking like over the last few days, I've spoke with over 40 people in the last 2 days, and half of them are like, I have been searching for something I can do online. I have no idea how I'm going to make ends meet at the end of the month. And more so than ever before, what you said at the beginning, Laura, about really feeling like just now we can offer somebody something. We're never offended if someone comes back and says it's not for them. It's not our job to decide if someone wants this or not. We're just offering somebody a plate and saying there's a business concept on there, there's products on there, and if nothing at all, that's absolutely fine, but they might then refer somebody to you. The way we can work as a business, so say somebody's like, yep, I want to hear this information myself, we can connect with them on Zoom. So you're on a Zoom call this evening, you're watching this back recorded from Zoom, and we can take people into our meeting room, explain all this information, let them go away, have a look at the website, and if it's for them, then we can reconnect with them on here a couple of days later and show them how to get set up with their own account. Social media, bringing the world so much smaller. 3 out of those 40 people that I've spoke with over the last couple of days, 3 of those people I have never met and didn't know a week ago. They're just people that I've connected with through social media, all of whom are like, I need something else, I'm open to looking at it. We understand nowadays that we can be in business in Canada via the touch of a button, because social media brings that Canadian person in their front room into our kitchen, and we're having a meeting via Instagram video call or via WhatsApp voice messages or whatever it is. So that's a massive, massive benefit, and something that people in our age group, the 18 to 30 something market, I'm in my early 30s and I'm clinging on to the 18 to 30s, the people in their 18 to 30 market understand this more than any other generation that's past us, because we've grown up with it. We know how to utilize social media to our advantage in a way that no other generation does. But just to point out, there are people from 18 years old to 80 years old at the top of this company, just building it in the way that they deem fit. So if somebody prefers to just do one-to-one calls or just phone calls, that's absolutely fine. If somebody wants to build it predominantly on social media, there's also evidence to show that it can be done like that as well. So it's fab. A couple of things, I should say a few things are kind of coming together right now. So we're basically seeing in the world a convergence of mega trends. These are what's classed as mega trends. So things like online shopping, things like the fact that work habits are changing, and things like the global health and wellness industry being very, very, very popular now in a way that it just wasn't 10, 15 years ago. People didn't care as much as they do now about health and wellness. It wasn't cool to be doing yoga. I remember if my mum said she was doing yoga when I was at school, I was like, don't ever say that in front of my friends. Things like that was so uncool. Nowadays, people are understanding the connection between what you're doing with your body and your mental health, what you're putting into your body, fueling things like fueling good nutrition through your body and that showing up on your skin. There's so much more awareness with that, and Arbonne sit bang splat in the middle of being able to create a product that's accessible to the masses because it's such good quality and affordable. Work habits are changing, so again, I've kind of touched on the 18 to 30s, but us especially, we're looking at people and we're like, how is that person traveling full time and earning an income and doing it? I don't understand. It's through things like this. This is what people are doing to be able to travel full time, or to be able to look like they're just having fun sitting in their front room on a Wednesday afternoon. They're building online businesses with companies that have credible, sustainable, like ethics, like Laura mentioned. Companies like this are, in my opinion, few and far between, like Arbonne, because this company's been around for a long, long time. But like Laura mentioned, we've still got all that globalization about to happen. It's so exciting, and I literally need to calm down. And then social businesses we've touched on already with social media, because again, like, it's something that's bringing the world right to your smartphone. Like, you can literally bring everybody to your, I suppose more so than ever before. We literally have a captive audience right now, more than ever before in our life. The fact that, like, everybody, it's horrible what's going on in the world. It's absolutely, like, heart-wrenching, and it doesn't really, like, bode well to think too much into it. But, like, the fact that people are watching right now, it would almost be, I think, Laura, you said, like, doing it a disservice to kind of play it down and kind of shy away from it right now, because we've got something that can offer not just a financial gain, but a really strong community of people who have a very many of the people that we work alongside are very, very smart, very smart in their own right types of people, and they're not daft to get involved with something like this. We've got a very high caliber of people, is what I'm trying to say, in this company, and it attracts people similar. It attracts people that want more, and that want to be associated with people that also want more, in order to be able to give more and do more in the world. This is kind of what I mentioned already about offering somebody a plate. But if someone's like, you're saying a lot of stuff, like, bring this to basics. What is this? When I started, I just stopped buying from where I used to buy. So I stopped buying basically savers and semi-chem crap. Sometimes I splashed out and got myself a little, like, Benefit bronzer, but that was about my lot. I just stopped buying from where I used to buy, and I started buying for myself, and you get 35% up to 50% discount to do that. So it's a massive, massive saving on products that you were buying anyway. And then you just share this concept with other people. So either you run through this information, all of this information with my help, Katie's help, Laura's help, all the girls that have been doing this before us. We all work as a team to make sure everyone is as confident as possible to go off and be able to articulate this to their networks, and then that person's networks, and so on. Or we literally just help people switch their spend and get healthier, cleaner products. You can't, it's something that I tried to overcomplicate this so much in my head when I first heard about it, but it is as simple as finding people to speak to, inviting the people to take a look, and then help, like, sharing the information with them, whether it's products or business. And we're, like I said, we're not in the convincing game. We're just sharing information. It's like a rinse, wash, repeat type of idea. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it a little bit clearer. Laura, can you see that okay? Yeah, cool. So on the left-hand side in green, you'll see some fancy titles. They are not geographically based. It doesn't mean when you get to area manager, you're in charge of Glasgow or anything like that. It's just the Americans got hold of the titles and deemed them as such. And then on the right-hand side, the average time to reach those positions as well. This is the UK averages for 2018. We're just about to get our updated ones, but we'll run through these for now just to give you an idea. And then kind of on the left-hand side in black, you'll see as well the average annual earnings. So I'm just going to run through them and talk a little bit about my experience with them as well. So everybody starts as an independent consultant. Regardless of your background, regardless of who you know, regardless of your confidence levels, everyone starts at the exact same place. It's a level playing field, and I love that. I started alongside people who were doctors and lawyers and businessmen in their own right, people who were students, swim coaches, athletes, art teachers. Everyone comes in and has exactly the same access to the tools, resources, products, trainings. Everyone has the exact same stuff. It's about the person, what they do with it. So the first level that you can reach in terms of promotion is district manager. 7 months on average to reach that position in the UK at the moment. It took me 2 months, and I don't say that to brag, like Laura was saying earlier on. We just are, like, explaining the possibilities with this tonight. That's why I wanted to kind of touch on my experiences. But I'm no more special than anybody else that comes into it. I just wanted the money a little bit faster, and in all honesty, I just wanted to run with it a little bit quicker, and I had reasons why I needed to earn a bit more money at that point, so I just worked it a little bit harder. The average annual earnings at that point is around 2,000. So you'll see the independent consultant and district manager earnings for the year are not large, but most people are treating it a bit like a hobby at this point. Most people work it maybe 5 hours a week and sort of play with it like as they go. It's not something that they're looking for life-changing money particularly. They're just having a go at it. But often when you get to district manager, you start to look, well, area manager's not that far away. And if I just teach a few other people to do what I've just done, then by default, my business grows. The next level to get to is area manager, and it can take 20 months on average in the UK to get to that point, but this is the level that I reached after 11 months. However, my sponsor, the girl that introduced me, was 18 and she reached that level in 4 months. So again, it's completely effort-based, regardless of who you are, background, age, anything like that. The average income in the UK is around 11 grand a year, and that's on top of everything else that people are earning. When I got to that position, I was working 3 jobs alongside this, and I remember looking at my paychecks that month and being like, I've earned like, so it was the first month that I was paid as an area manager, I earned £1,100, and I'd worked like 7 hours a week. And I was looking at all my other jobs and I was like, how? I don't understand how. But I was thinking at that point, still in the mindset of like an employee, like I needed to trade my time for money. Like I would work an hour, get paid an hour, work an hour, get paid an hour. And I didn't understand how by that point it kind of snowballed into what it was growing into. But it just shows the consistent applying yourself to something like this over time can build into something way more lucrative than maybe what it seems on the outside. Regional Vice President on average takes 3 years to get to. Sounds dead fancy. It's not any more fancy than the rest. You still do the same amount of work. Even at the top level of the company that you can see there as well, most people are still working this very much part-time online on top of everything else that they're doing in their life. The nicest thing to note is that the top 2 levels were partnered with Mercedes-Benz and have been for 40 years. So when you get to Regional Vice President and National Vice President, you are given a £500 cash bonus on top of your paycheck to go towards the driving of a white Mercedes. It has to be white to represent the purity of the products, and it has to be relatively new as well to represent the quality and the safety of the brand, but that's absolutely fine with me. That's the level that me and my team are going for this year, and it's really exciting because when you think about like an extra 41 grand on top of everything else that you do, this like what I mentioned, this isn't an or business. This is something that you add into your life. This is something that you can have on top of everything else that you do. And most of the girls that I know that are at that level just now do this alongside multiple other things, multiple other businesses. Maybe they've got property businesses, kids, a full-time job, like whatever that might be. There's other things going on in the majority of other people's lives that do this. And in the top level there, you can see average time to get there's about 5 years, and the average income is around 150,000 in the UK based on 2018 earnings. But I just want to note that at each of these levels, there's no capping. There's no like once you get to that amount, you can't earn any more. There's what's the words like, is it a glass ceiling? There's no glass ceiling. You can literally earn as much as you like from this. If you want to go off and do more and earn more, absolutely, Arbonne's like, knock yourself out, carry on, like you can absolutely do that. And there's also cash bonus structures at every single level, so between £60 to £375, depending obviously where you are in the company. If you've got any more questions around that, obviously give Laura a shout afterwards and she'll go into more detail. And just to wrap up all the business information, that's everything I heard, Laura heard, Katie heard, when they decided to jump in to run a business. Like Laura mentioned, it's £30 to get set up with an Arbonne business. And what you get for that, the infrastructure that's set up already between like the delivery company, the delivery service we use, DPD couriers, also classed as an essential service, so they're not going anywhere just now, which is fab. You get the website, you get your landing page, you get everything's tracked for you, so you can literally go on and have a note through have a rummage through all the notes of what's coming through your organisation. You don't need to track all that. Like if I had a traditional business, I would need to be all legs of that business. I would need to be the accounts department, the marketing, the delivery. Like I would need to try and find a structure to do all of that, but we can get all of that for the £30 sign up cost. And there's nothing that you have to then do. If you decide, you know what, 3 months down the line, it's not for me, didn't really want to do anything with it, nothing happens. You still have that discount card for a year, and if nothing else, then you don't need to do anything. And I think Laura or I touched on this already, but you get 35% off 35% up to 50% off all the products as well. And the one thing that I just want to leave you with is the personal growth side of it, which when I first heard it, I thought that sounded very like American cheesy, like whip whip sort of stuff. But taking away the financial gain, taking away the community, even taking away all that stuff, see what this gives you in terms of like focus and drive and like really encouraging yourself to go for more. Like, at what point in our lives did we think that what we were told we were worth in a job was all we could earn? Like, at what point did that become normal? Like, it almost like the more personal development you do, you're like, of course there's more, of course there's enough for everyone, of course we can go after having a greater life if we wish to, because then we can show other people how to do the same. And that side of things is something that I could like talk to you for hours and hours and hours and hours about, because it really, really has been probably the most massive thing for me, and the most probably the thing that's paid off most at this stage more than anything else. And yeah, I would just say just not to kind of cast that part aside, because it is a really, really important factor as to what this business and all the training and partnerships and stuff can give you. So I'm just going to wrap up there. I'm going to mute myself, pop Laura back on. She can wrap up. And like I said, if you've got any questions, just send them over to Laura or myself or whatever afterwards, and we'll answer them for you.
Can't see everybody. How do I get back to you? Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you so much, guys, like for jumping on and listening to that. I know maybe that was like a lot of information to take in at once, but I think I just kind of want to wrap up by saying, like, I don't think that I know a single person, and I don't think any of you guys know a single person that doesn't have the desire to have more time freedom or have more financial freedom. And this business can offer that. It's not for everyone, but it's an option that we have to share, and that's it. And I just honestly, like, really, really so grateful for you guys jumping on and taking some time out of your Friday evening. I know a lot of us probably aren't super busy at the moment, considering we're all locked up, but I still appreciate it all the same, and it's so nice to see your face, Hilary, and Jessica's iPhone text. But thanks for coming on so much. And yeah, I'll probably touch base with you a little bit after, just to kind of see what you thought. But yeah, that's it, and thank you so much. So
thank you.